I'm going to be watching as well if people come up, because it'll come up, they'll say they're in the waiting room. But currently, there's nobody on the waiting room. So, hi everybody, David Belfer here from Emphasis Hair. Today is the first of hopefully hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these sorts of calls, which I'm calling Emphasis Hair Inspiration. So where's that gone off? Something's happening there, that's all good. I'll just turn myself back on again. Emphasis Hair Inspiration. So what that means is that I'm going out and I'm finding things that inspire me, and I'm going to introduce them to you, our clients of Emphasis Hair. And this week, I had the pleasure of meeting, well, I've just met her today, but I've had Esther. Can you see Esther? You wave, Esther, say hi.
Hi.
Esther's been one of our clients at Emphasis Hair for about the last year now. And we were having a conversation the other day, and she actually told me something that was inspiring to her. Do you want to share with us what that was, Esther?
Yeah, I will. We were just talking about how COVID is affecting us and how you're feeling about COVID. And what came to mind was an amazing thing that my beautiful granddaughter did. And so I mentioned it to you, that she had this project that totally inspired me. And I just had to pass it on because I was so proud of what she'd done. And she'd made me think a lot about what's happening to all of us now during COVID. So
that sounds amazing. But what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to introduce your granddaughter to us.
Okay, so hi everybody. I want you to meet my beautiful granddaughter, Abby, who is an inspiration in our family and who is also very concerned and considerate about what is going on, and also thinking about what will be in the future. So I just want you to meet, here's my beautiful girl, Abby. Say hi, Abby.
Hi.
Hi, Abby. Welcome to the call, darling. So, Abby, just a couple of things. How old are you?
I'm 12, 13 in November.
13 in November, 12 years old. So you had your bat mitzvah last year, so you got your party and you had a lot of fun in that. Awesome. Yeah. Always fun. So tell me, schooling, how's school going for you at the moment? You sort of, you've been in school, out of school, in school, out of school?
It's going pretty well for me because I know how I can adjust from previous, term 1 and term 2, how we had to do online learning, and now we all know how to cope with it this term. It's just about getting through it and staying on track.
Staying on track. So what sort of things have you done for yourself? What have you got any tips with regard to that for other people? Are you in year 7 or in
year 7?
Have you got any other tips for year 7s that would be good for them to know?
To just ask for help if you need it, because that's really important. And to occasionally just talk to someone about how you're feeling, because if you keep it all bottled up for a while, it's not very healthy to do that.
Okay, great. That's really great advice. So to ask for help.
Yeah.
We need to ask for help as adults too, don't we, Esther?
Definitely.
We do. So tell me, Abby, what do you do for fun when you're not locked down? What do you do for fun?
I like to do like anything creative kind of based. So sometimes I just draw, or sometimes I just write a bunch of things down, like questions. I could write messages to my friends just to check up on them. Or I have this ongoing project that I've been doing lately. It's like this little gem art where you can just stick gems and it all comes together as a picture.
Oh, it sounds beautiful. Sounds absolutely stunning. My wife is an art therapist, and so I should get you together with her, and perhaps you could do one of these calls on her Zoom as well, because she's got a whole art therapy page and she does things on Thursday afternoons. That's another thing. So tell me, your grandmother was inspired by this project that you've created. Do you want to share with us what it is and what it's about?
So basically this project is about either sitting down by yourself or sitting down with your family and just answering a couple questions that really help you to reflect on what has come in the past month or two, and to really just think about how you're doing, how you've changed as a person,
Wow.
how your insights have changed and all that.
Wow. So this is really, it's quite deep thinking for a 12-year-old. Have you always been very, very mindful and you're obviously very caring, because you said you were doing all of these art things and checking up on your friends all the time, which is a really beautiful thing, a beautiful attribute to have. So was there anything specific? Because you said that there's questions. What was the actual project that you sent to your grandmother? What did you ask her to do specifically?
So I sent to Nana and to a couple of other family members to just take a moment to sit down and answer. Do you want me to read the questions?
Yeah, let's go through the questions. That would be
So
great.
there's 5 questions, and they might sound simple, but if you really get into them, they could be quite deep. So the first one is, be honest. How do you think the family is coping with the whole situation of this year?
Mm.
The second one is, what are you grateful for now that you might not have been before? The third one is, what are your predictions for the future of COVID-19? So what do you think will happen in the future of it?
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4 is, what new hobbies or ways to keep yourself busy have you guys come up with?
Mm-hmm.
And number 5, what positives can you take away from this year?
Excuse me. Wow. So we'll just go through those 5 again. Let's go number 1. What's number 1? Read it out again.
How do you think the family is coping with the whole situation of this year?
Great. So how do you think your family's coping with all of this?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, me?
Yeah, go for it. Answer it. Let's elaborate a little bit. And say they're all doing really well.
I think we're all definitely adapting to all these new situations, but I think we're really well. I can't really say we're doing so well because we don't know what will happen tomorrow, or we can't really plan ahead. But we can make the most of today and what we need to do, like in that sense.
Wow, that's very insightful. What about you, Esther? How would you, or have you answered these questions yet?
I have. My husband and I spent 10 minutes going through each of the questions. I'm not sure what Abby thinks of them yet, but it took up a lot of file, so we couldn't send it so easily. But it actually was very therapeutic, and we had to really think about it. As Abby said, it is deep. They're simple questions, but when you really get into it, they actually make you think about, and it actually gets you to dig deep. How are you really feeling in this time? I mean, there are lots of different emotions that we have. And at the end of the day, we think we're doing okay, and that makes us feel better. We're actually doing all right.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you. For me, when I look at that, it's a wonderful question, because my family is all over the world. All of my immediate family, my mum and my dad, my brother, my sister, my daughter currently as well, are all over in Israel with their families. And, we know that in Israel, they're not doing as well as us as such, with their numbers. And so there's a lot of stresses involved with that. My daughter has been in isolation for 40 days over this last few months, just because of coming in contact with people with. And so there's lots, as Esther said, huge amounts of emotions that come up. But you know what? If you've got family and you've got people around you that care about you, makes it easier. Yes? Would you agree with that? I agree. What's the second question? What's the second question, Abby?
The second question is, what are you grateful for now that you might not have been before? So if before you might have been grateful for if you do after school sport, or if you go out and have dinner occasionally with your family, and now or after school sport might be cancelled, or some of the restaurants might be closed. So you might now be grateful for the time you can spend with your family or something along those lines.
That's great. Thank you. What about you, Esther? Give me 3 things you're grateful for.
Well,
One.
I'm grateful. Well, the first one I'm most grateful for is that our granddaughter has given us an insight into who she was that I didn't actually have before. So she's got an amazing insight. And I'm grateful also for often you take your family for granted. And it's in these times that I feel very grateful for the fact that they're there and they're supporting us, and we're in it. In a way, I know there's that slogan, we're in it together, but we are, and we're all together. And I'm really grateful for that. And
Number
I
3.
don't know, the other, number 3, the hairdresser I've met.
Yeah.
Inspired me, yes.
There you go. I can understand that. That's great.
Yeah.
Gratitude for me is actually how do I say it? It's a way of life for me. It's something that I feel every day from the beginning when I wake up until the end of the day when I go to sleep again. And so I'm going to use the word grateful again, Abby, that you've actually got this question in there, because it is so important for people to be able to see what they have, be it small, be it large, and actually find the levels of areas where they can be, thankful for what they do have.
Yeah.
For small mercies and for great big ones as well. So what's the third question?
What are your predictions for the future of COVID-19? So everyone in our family kind of had similar but different perspectives on what could come.
Mm-hmm.
I thought some of us thought there might be a second wave. Some of us thought that we wouldn't necessarily go back to normal, but this might be the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I even got so bored one day, I made these little cubes.
Right.
There are these Christmas countdowns. I made little ones out of paper for every member of our family.
Wow.
So that they can track if they won.
Oh, very nice. Another mindful gift. Esther, predictions?
Well, I'm an optimist, and I'm predicting that we're all going to get through this okay, but it's going to be with a bit of a struggle. But I think it will eventually go, but it will take time. So, yeah, maybe it will become a new normal, but maybe it's also a reset. Maybe
Yes.
COVID is getting us all to reset the way we lead our lives and what we do with our lives. So that's what I think.
Thank you. I'm not going to give you my opinion on that one yet, because number 4 is the most important question, I think, to now. Because number 1, we went through being honest and then being grateful, and then the predictions. But number 4, what's number 4, Abby?
What new hobbies or ways to keep yourself busy have you come up with?
Well, what have you come up with?
I've mainly come up with either trying to spend time with Joel or my brother, or playing with my dog, or
What sort of dog have you got?
I've got a cavoodle. She's sitting right there.
What colour is she?
She's like a honey color.
Oh, I've got a cavoodle as well, and she's white. I'm not going to say can you see my whiskers on the photo on the screen? That's the colour that she's white. And have you got a dog as well, Esther?
No, we don't.
No. You can share her cavoodle as well.
I try to.
Excellent. So, and what other things? Or have you got any suggestions for other people that may not have found any hobbies or things like that?
Maybe trying to play a collective game or charades, because charades you don't need anything for. You can just come up with something and then act it.
You can play charades on Zoom, can't you?
I play charades on Zoom.
That's a fun thing to do. Excellent. So have you got any new hobbies, Esther?
I'm trying to do a puzzle, and I've been out in the garden a bit more. So I've sort of been growing a few herbs and sort of looking around the garden. So I'm actually appreciating nature more because I'm walking much more. So I'm exercising more.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. So I think that for new hobbies for me, this has become one of my new hobbies. How many of you actually feel that you've become a Zumbi?
We have.
We have. Now,
Sometimes.
Zumbi, it can be a good thing or it can be a not a good thing. I actually really like it. I think it's a great way of us being able to communicate in a different way and touch people around the world that we never knew that we'd actually be talking to. So right now on Facebook, I haven't checked it, but I'm sure that we've got people that are watching. You were talking, Esther, about being in the garden. One of my dear friends, Annie Callis, who's an amazing coach, spent 9 hours in the garden yesterday. She got into a garden at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and was still cutting branches at 11:30 at night. Can you believe it? I think that's obsessed. But you know, people are doing all sorts of strange things now to be able to get about and do things. Let's go to question number 5.
What positives can you take away from this year?
Wow.
So it can be anything from things you've learned, things you've improved on, maybe if you try to reach a goal, if you now know more things, like if you know how to stay safe, if you know how to adapt to new situations that have been just thrown at you and still keep your cool.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that, Abby. Tell me, so have you got anything positive that you can see already that you can take away from this year?
Definitely.
Well, I always see things I always see something positive out of every situation. And what can I take away? There's quite a lot. I mean, the fact that I think we're quite resilient, and that building resilience, and that maybe it's proving that we are resilient, that we can make things happen, and we're adaptable, like Abby said. What have I improved on? I've actually improved my computer skills. So because of the Zooming and because of learning how to use Teams and all this stuff, I actually feel like I've learned that. So I suppose if it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't know that as much.
Yeah.
So
I just remember when you first came into the salon, you were talking about going online. I think it was about 3.5, 4 months ago. And you were petrified. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. And now look at you.
I'm an expert now. I make mistakes, but but it's much easier now. So there's a lot we can learn and we can take away with, but sometimes you have to remind yourself that there are these positives, and often we don't remind ourselves. So Abby, thank you. You keep you reminding me to think about them all the time. So that's important.
Wonderful. So with regard to this project that Abby has created, one of the things that she actually asked people to do was to get together either with their family or to do it alone and to answer these questions on video. And she then asked her family to send her the videos so she could collate it into a single video to share with all of them. That's the part of this that I really, really loved. And I'll tell you why. I really love this because it means that you're creating an artifact of exactly how you are feeling now. And imagine that if in 10 years' time or in 20 years' time or in 50 years' time, Abby, you might be sitting with your great-grandchildren, sitting around the table at Shabbat or something like that. And you could be sitting there saying, you know what, 50 years ago, there was this thing called a pandemic, COVID-19. And this is what the family was thinking. It's creating an artifact. It's creating something that has legacy with it. It's creating something that when you actually sit back and look at it, it's like a time capsule. And that's the thing that I found really inspiring, because it's something that when you are allowed to be able to share, and as you said, honestly, to share exactly where you're at, that's something that a lot of people may not be able to do. But when it comes to this, it allows other people to see how they're feeling as well, that may not know, because they've been able to share it in a form or a fashion that is able to be shared. And so it also is another thing that I really loved about it is the fact that it brings people together. It brings people together. So you've sent it out to all your family.
Yeah.
My family's a big family. I'm sending this out to them tonight. And we're going to do this and we're going to put together a whole collection of the videos, I hope, and send it out to everyone. But imagine, Abby, when I was talking to your grandmother, when she said, oh, she had so much nachas. Now, what's nachas to you, Esther? What does the word nachas mean to you?
Oh, it's more than pride. I mean, it's very hard to define the word nachas, but it's that overwhelming sense of pride and joy that sort of comes out of your heart when you think of a person or someone. I mean, it's always particularly in your family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's particularly but I have a lot of nachas from everyone in my family. So, you know, I'm always feeling nachas. I feel very blessed.
That's a main part of it. It's about feeling blessed for me as well. And that sense of joy and pride. Abby, what does nachas mean to you? Not corn chips with cheese and all that sort of stuff. That's nachos. Spelt the same.
I think it's like giving good feedback. Not feedback. Sorry. When you like support someone and you just really believe in what they're trying to do and you really try and help them like on the supportive side.
Wow, that is great insight. That is really great insight. I hadn't thought of it like that because that's coming from your angle, which is amazing. To me, it's pride. It's the joy that you get when you see other people achieve, and that whether they be in your family or it might be within your business or it might be within your friends, it might be your team, of your footy team scored a goal. Imagine if St Kilda actually won a grand final. The joy that would bring to so many people. However, in saying that, what I'm going to suggest that you do, Abby, is how would you like people to be able to take this project and move forward with it? What would you like them to do?
Well, I think it would really help to see how much you've changed and how you can, and to be able to address that and to say, oh, look how I was a couple months ago and look where I am now and how different I am in a good way and how I've changed. It's really good to be able to notice that and
That's great advice. So would you suggest people do this on a regular basis? Perhaps they might do it once a month for 6 months.
maybe, or like,
that could be something. That could be interesting. So I'm looking at ways that we can make this bigger and more inspirational. So if people wanted to actually do this, I'm going to share this form, which is literally the questions on the chat afterwards, or people can contact me and I can send it to them. I might put a link to it on our Facebook page as well. And I'm going to share that with them. But I'm going to set up a hashtag called Abby's Project. And imagine if we get everybody to do hashtag Abby's Project and start to share it, that we might all be able to see what other people are really feeling with these different questions that are coming out. I'm really inspired by it, Abby. I'm proud of you. And I don't even know you. Now I know you. And I'm getting some insight into you. I'm really proud of how you've, at such a young age, have come up with such a great idea and inspiring other people to do it as well and sharing it. So I just want to say thank you for that. I think it's a blessing to be able to share things and to allow other people to express how they feel and to feel better. That's what we do in the salon every day. You know, we look for the things inside of people to bring it out so they can feel better about themselves as well. And so thank you for that. Now, speaking of that, do you mind if I share a little bit about the salon while I'm here? No? Excellent. Can you see these things here? These are masks. Now, my wife works in a wonderful gift store over in Camberwell where they've been making these masks non-stop for about 5 weeks. They've produced thousands of them. thousands and thousands of them, and they're washable and all that sort of thing. But what happens is they're there to keep people safe. And so they're available for you to pick up here in the salon. But something else that I've just done today is gone and ordered 150 of the other sorts of throwaway face masks and 150 hand sanitizers as well. And so when people are coming in, because as of this week, we have to wear them, I'm going to supply you with one when you walk in the door. So I want you to feel safe. I'm going to give you the mask and the sanitizer to keep. So you can walk away in and out with that while you're here and just keep it for when you need it. We've done everything that we can. Louise and I have been very blessed to have been open the whole time. And because there's only 2 of us in the space, we're able to regulate the flow of the clients through here. So you're going to be safe while you're here. I'm just hoping, praying, trusting that we're not going to go into stage 4. So I think that we're going to see the curve go down. I'm asking for that. I'm praying for that. But if that does occur and we're not going to be here, we'll still be here for you in doing the other things that we're able to share with you from here. There'll be emails about that later on. What else was I going to say? Was there anything else I was going to say? I can't think. It's not about me. This is the Abby show today anyway. Actually, before I go, I'd love to invite Vicky. I don't know, can we see Vicky's on screen with us? Vicky, are you able to come on screen? Or just unmute yourself. A few years ago, Abby, hi Vicky.
Hi, Dale.
Vicky's been one of our clients in the salon for a number of years. She's a wonderful teacher. She's been a kindergarten teacher at many of the schools in the local area for how many years, Vicky? You don't have to say if you don't want.
Over 40.
40 years. There you go. That's what the dog can't believe that either. Now, Vicky, about 6 years ago, maybe longer, when her son was in primary school, they had a mindfulness card that was sent out. Do you remember when you shared that with me, Vicky?
Yes, I do. And we
Now-
still do it.
Yeah, and it was basically a gratitude process then that her son was introduced to at his school. It was St. Kevin's, wasn't it? Or which
Xavier.
school? At Xavier College, sorry. Now, I shared that way back then. So we've been doing these inspirational things for a long time in the salon. And I just wanted to say thank you, Vicky, because it's come up again. That came up in my feed about 2 weeks ago. So I'll go back and find it and I'll share that again. That together with Abby's project, I tell you what, we're going to have a lot of very mindful people out there. A lot of people that are going to be sharing the way they are and sharing the way they feel and being very, very, what's the word for it? Inspired to look for the positive things in life. So
Yes.
Abby, I just want to say thank you very, very much for allowing us to be online with you and for inspiring so many people. Esther, thank you for sharing the nachas that you had
Thank
on
you.
that day. I really, really appreciate it. And Vicky, thank you for coming online and being here and listening as well and for your inspiration throughout the years. And
Thank you. Wonderful, Abby. Well done.
Thank
And it
you.
was lovely to see Esther's face just come alive while she was listening to Abby.
Oh,
I could see that knuckles, darling.
oh, thanks, Vicky.
My pleasure.
Help myself.
That's a good thing. So tell me, Abby, just to finalise it, is there any last things that you'd like to share?
I think we're good.
You think we're good? You think we're done? That's amazing. What about you, Esther? Any last words of wisdom?
No, I don't think I have any more wisdom left in me.
No? Well, Eric's obviously coming to say something. Eric, have you got any wisdom?
Keep safe, David. Keep safe.
Keep safe and
think-
healthy.
And think positive.
Positive,
Think
yeah.
positive.
Awesome. Thank you. Abby, have you got anyone else in your family there that might want to share something?
Just Esther and I and the 2 of us. That's fine.
Hi.
Stay safe and look after yourself and always be positive and always be grateful. I learned that from Abby.
Yeah.
I thought you
Seems
were-
like there's a theme running through this family, which I'm very, very honoured to be able to share with the world. So guys, much love.
Thank you. Thanks,
And,
David.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on the Emphasis Hair Inspirations. Thanks, Abby.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, David.
And
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.